One thing that I've been struck by in going through these, Kate, is what you just showed there, the video of those two red orbs. More and more of the videos in this release or this batch of documents and videos show red orbs than the previous two releases.
This truth were just known overnight. If the government announced, yes, we have been keeping this from you since 1947, that would mess up a lot of people. And the movie also takes the position of the church. What does this do to the fundamental beliefs that many of us have? And, is God our God only on this planet? Or is God a God for every system where there's civilization, intelligent life, and even developing life?
The Pentagon today released the third batch of declassified files related to unidentified anomalous phenomena, more commonly known as UFOs. The 72 newly released files date from the 1940s to this year and include materials from the FBI, CIA, Department of Defense, and NASA. They include multiple videos taken by eyewitnesses, like this one you're looking at, showing what appears to be glowing red orb-like objects in the sky.
So do you believe that, this seems a crazy question. Yeah. I can't believe I'm asking it, but I'm asking it seriously. Like, do you think that there are aliens here? Two parts. Okay. Have aliens been here? And do you think they might still be here?
Well, based on the circumstantial evidence of everything that I've gathered throughout my whole life, and everybody I've listened to, and every documentary I've ever watched, and all the testimonies in Congress that I've heard, I absolutely think that they have been here, and they are here, and who knows, maybe they've always been here.
More of the videos in this one are taken on iPhones. There's a lot more recent video than we've seen in the previous two, which included a lot more video from U.S. military aircraft. So it's just grainier and darker, whereas you can see here, you can make out colors in some cases of these more recent ones. There you go again, some more of these red orbs that we've seen in these videos. There also includes more eyewitness interviews and testimony that are provided by the CIA and the FBI in these. And what's striking about that is, as opposed to the ones that we've seen in the past releases that include U.S. military documents, they at times they identify the individuals who are giving these testimonies as being highly credible in their testimony. So again, it's very similar to the past releases, but we are seeing nuances and slight differences here that are just interesting to go through.
In fact, there is a document, a letter written just a week ago by the director of the Office of All Domain Anomaly Resolution in the Pentagon. His name is John Kozlowski, where he detailed the report about a period of 2 days in October 2023 when 6 federal law enforcement agents reported observing orbs that were launching other orbs. And he describes in detail what they have seen. And the argument is that only 60% of what was observed, what was reported, can be explained in terms of flares or equipment that the U.S. possesses or other governments possess. But 40% of the details cannot be explained by the special office in the Pentagon assigned to explain this. And it's not because of lack of data. The actual data is not cannot be explained by those officials. Now, in addition to that, as you mentioned, there is some historic data, historic documents. One of the historic documents goes back to the time of the Roswell crash and indicates it's a letter from the Navy to Norfolk. And it discusses flying discs. The official report after Roswell was that this was just a weather balloon, but they are talking about flying discs that were on a reconnaissance mission. And then there is the Colorado Springs object in 2022 that 5 soldiers at Fort Carson watched. They saw a white potato-shaped object hovering near the Cheyenne Mountain in perfect daylight. And it looks like this is a very reliable report. So I'm actually quite intrigued by all these reports. And I think the bottom line is that we need to figure these things out.
How do you think the world would react to a disclosure day? Is kind of like the hope that, was in the film one that you believe, or is it one that you kind of yearn for?
No, I was yearning for it when I made Close Encounters, but when I made Disclosure Day, I believed it. That's the difference. And also, one of the things that compelled me to sit down and write this story before collaborating with David Kepler of the screenplay. What started the whole thing was the idea that it's kind of like a proposition. If the unknown is known by a very few, but not everybody, the inequity of that is what first got me to sit down and start writing the story. But the consequences, whether it's unintended or not, the consequences of a real full disclosure is going to have to take into consideration the social dislocation, the essentially, the trauma, and all the questions, theological questions that are going to come up. There's this, I'm not giving too much away, but there's a scene where Eve Hewson, who plays Jane, says, I was raised to believe in a supreme being, and now you're going to show us actual supreme beings? She says the world can't handle both, and she really believes that. So I think it's not an easy decision to make.
And so what needs to be done right now is an action plan where, given those intriguing reports, they're not hidden from view anymore, we should engage in scientific research, putting better sensors, trying to figure out what the best data indicates. Because at the very least, if you're down to earth, this is a matter of national security. There are strategic assets which are presumably being watched by these orbs, by these disks, whatever they are. But if, the simplest interpretation is that adversarial nations are employing them. However, it's also possible that it's something beyond this earth. And it's not a matter of belief. It's a matter of getting the data to lead us to the truth.
A recent Pentagon file release and a new Steven Spielberg movie are putting UFOs back in the headlines.
This 79-year cover-up of the truth has to end.
We're interrupting our coverage.
When Disclosure Day actually happens, we're going to have to accept we haven't been alone since the beginning of time.
All the extraterrestrial buzz has us asking, will the United States ever confirm that aliens exist? Our sponsor, Kalshi's prediction markets show more than 17% think the government will confirm alien existence by next year, while 28% think the truth will come out by 2028, and 36% say yes before January 20th, 2029.